Hey, what's up? How are you guys? Unfortunately, actually, that's not true. I literally thought I didn't have my mic on, but now it's on. Can you guys hear me okay? Are we good to go? Yes? Thanks, Faith. Hi, Jeannie. How are you? Hi, Shabai. Hi, homeschooler. Hi, Charlene Paul. How are you? Hey, Esteban in the house. Linda in the house. Okay. So I know that, the people like kind of slow roll into these lives, but good morning, you guys on Instagram. But I want to jump into this really quickly because I don't know. Any of you guys hate fluff? But if you can't stand fluff, put yes in the chat. I can't stand fluff. And I just don't want to waste your time. And I know whatever time of day it is in your world right now, if it's like morning or afternoon or evening, let us know what time zone you're in right now. Go in the comments right now and let us know what time zone you're in right now. And so depending on the time zone that you're in, excuse me, Facebook, I'm moving these guys up, will determine on if you're ending your day, beginning your day, and your middle of your day. So Central Standard Time, Atlantic Time, Central Time, Boston in the house, Eastern Standard Time. So good. Okay, so I want to jump right into this because I really hate fluff. I really hate wasting time. And I know that you probably have a lot to do like I do today. Anybody have a lot to do? Yes, in the house? You guys got a lot to do? Yes. 7 a.m. on Facebook. Good for you. Looking to improve my English skills. So good. Okay, good. Okay. So I want to talk to you about just some of the blind spots that are connected to you growing your businesses, growing your life. And I think this will be very valuable to you because this is something that nobody really taught me. And I started to pay attention to the patterns, which were the patterns in which the patterns that I saw people operate in that would create the results that I wanted in my life. So some people might call them habits. Some people might call them tendencies, skill sets, mindset. People have a different name for it. But at the end of the day, there is a pattern to success. And when I look at the pattern to success, there's a few things that I see. Number one, who wants speed? Put speed in the comment section. Who wants speed? Put speed in the comment section if you're someone who wants speed. Okay, so if you want speed, then what do you think you need to do? Facebook and Instagram, go share this real quick. Can you take a moment and just go share this real quick? I would really appreciate if you go share this live. Let's get it out there to some more people. So I'm not making any offers. I'm literally just giving. So you can feel very, very safe about sharing it and I won't make a dime off you. People are like, Faith is managing the streams right now. It's like, so people are like, I don't want to share somebody's stuff. What if they make money or take my money? It's like, stop. So I'm not making any offers. Don't have to worry about it. Just share this live for me, would you? Okay. So here's the thing. If you want speed, you need to move fast. What does that mean? You need to walk fast. You need to make decisions fast. You need to, in many ways, speed up the way that you talk. I know that sounds really funny, but like you can take a totally laid back, chill person, and when they're in the momentum of creating speed on a business or fitness, they get urgent. And you can hear it in their voice. Their voice picks up. They've got a different energy tone to it, right? It's frequency. And frequency creates fast speed. And so I can tell you when I'm leading a training and I see people on Zoom and they're like leaning back in their chair like this, or I've got a leader inside the company that's eating while they're on a Zoom, or that they got their cameras off in a Zoom, I will tell you 100% they're not optimizing their life. And it's sad to me. It's sad to me for them. It's sad to me for the people that they serve. It's sad for me because at the end of the day, when they put their head down, and I know that there's some of you guys listening right now, that this is a complete wake-up call for you. Whether you believe me or not, whether you want to make me right or wrong, you can just go out there and do your own research and go on Instagram or go on Facebook or go on YouTube and look at the people who have millions and millions of followers. They don't talk like this. They don't walk around like this. There's urgency to speed. There's urgency to speed. Now, people have different styles of making decisions, but they still have deadlines and they have targets. So the second thing, move fast is what's going to give you the speed. Speed will be absolutely connected to how much money you have, but also how much life you get to experience. So people are like, I can't do that. Like it's, my doctor is an hour away and I don't want to drive to my doctor, but I love my doctor. So it feels like resistance to go see my doctor. That's a problem. It's a lack of vision. It's a lack of speed. And so you don't get more life from it. You know what I'm saying? Next thing that we notice is that people who make it have very clear targets. They have very clear targets and they have accountability. Now, I'm not making this up. Am I right on this? When you hear someone like Ed Millett or myself or anybody crushing it out there, they are often talking about their goals, aspirations, and they put it public with a deadline. So inside of a company, they're called KPIs, right? And when people don't hit their KPIs and they make up excuses for why they don't hit their KPIs, the issue is them. It's them. And so I share this with you because I want you to win. And I know all of you guys are working. I'm working, you're working, but I can tell you when I see a lull in my income or a lull in my fitness or the way I feel in my body, whenever I feel that, I can always tell you 100%, I've slowed down the speed in which I walk. I've slowed down targets that have a deadline and accountability. And so we have a rule in Hardcore Business, and the rule is that we don't move dates. When you make a commitment, you do whatever it takes to hit the commitment. This also goes with paying your bills, right? So say you want to buy a new car and you don't have enough money. What could you do today to generate it? See, where everybody likes to play, where they think success is people think success is in planning. That's not true. It's not true. I'm going to tell you something. Almost every entrepreneur I know, and I would go to the sake of saying 99.9% of my successful friends do not have this massive plan. They know where they want to go. They've got a target. They've got accountability connected to the campaigns that are calendared. I talked about that at the beginning of the end of last week on Shanda On Demand. If you're not tuning into Shanda On Demand on a daily basis, you guys on Instagram, I don't go live on Instagram Monday through Friday, but you can jump onto our Hardcore Business Facebook page. And I'm always live on there, right? Facebook, yeah, right? Like I'm always live on Facebook Monday through Friday doing Shanda On Demand at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're not on, then you miss the daily coaching that will actually have a massive impact on your ability to just crush it before the end of the year. So here's where I stand in my own life. Just like you, it's very easy to go, I blame my mentors, I blame my coaches, I blame my husband, I blame, somebody that works for me. And you could be right about that, right? You could be 100% right about that. But here's what I've learned, that even if I'm right, doesn't mean that I'm going to have a win. Are you guys following me on this? Like, even though you're right about maybe your coach isn't giving you what you need, or maybe your spouse isn't supportive, or, maybe your spouse isn't as ambitious as you are. And the truth is if they're with you, they probably are. It's just you remind them of everything that they're not doing when they know that they're capable. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, who was it that said that? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. I heard somebody say this, it was about 4 months ago, where it just resonated with me. It's so true, because your spouse, the person that you're dating, right? Or your sister or your brother, or somebody close to you that loves to say things to you like, I'm not motivated by money, or I'm not motivated by success, or I'm content, or I'm satisfied, right? You always know this person. Am I right? Put yes in the chat. Do you know somebody in your life right now that is having that conversation, or has had it not too long ago? Put yes in the chat. Yes, right? So people are saying yes right now. So those people, you know what? You drive them nuts. And the reason why you drive them nuts, if you can drop into compassion, is because you hear what they say when they're not critiquing you. They beat themselves up. They know that they don't hit their goals. they feel out of shape, they feel like they haven't hit their stride in life. And that's really the problem. And so you have to make sure that you keep your speed up, that you have targets, and that you have accountability. And when you do, you stop critiquing other people because you're running your own race. And hopefully that race is connected with your family. Hopefully that race is connected with your future family, whatever that looks like. Before I ever had a family, I already started a life insurance policy for my future husband, for my future children. That's a visionary. And it's also somebody, when your heart turns over, you do more for other people than you will ever do for yourself. And that shifted for me when I went and I volunteered in Africa. When I went and volunteered in Africa, I couldn't believe how soft I really was. I mean, my friends would have told me that I was ambitious and I was this. In fact, I was too ambitious for some of them because I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. If you are the most successful person in your crew, you got a problem because your ego needs to have that so that you feel powerful. I'm going to invite you today, if that's you, put me in the chat. If you are the person that everybody goes to for advice, if you are the person that's kind of at the top of the pecking order, then I'm going to really invite you to stop. I'm going to really invite you to stop and get risking, because your ego is playing a trap on you. And the trap that you're in is that you need to feel validated. Let me tell you something. When you're 80 years old, you're not going to give a shit about feeling validated. You're going to feel a lot more better that you have a lot of money in the bank, that you're able to write checks to nonprofits and causes that you care about, that you're able to help your sister when she runs into challenges, that you're able to take care of your parents and not apologize for doing it because you've had the speed, the targets, and the accountability that you have a nest egg. And let me tell you something, as you have a nest egg, everybody wants it. Everybody feels like they're entitled to it. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? So what it takes to be able to build that nest egg is contribution. But what it takes to continue to manage it is realizing it's God, it's grace, and it's also your ability to be generous and giving to stay in this pattern. And I'm not saying, I would say I probably stay in this pattern about 70% of my life. And every time, this is what I love, being transparent, because I know that you're walking what you're walking. Every time I try and hand a portion of my speed over to someone, I've had a challenge because the speed and the targets start getting changed. So I'm learning this right now. What are you learning? What's the step in leadership that you're walking through right now? And instead of looking at blaming your spouses, blaming your boyfriend or your girlfriend, or lack of girlfriend and boyfriend, like you don't have a relationship in your life because you have a child or kids. Like, what if you just stopped all of those conversations and said, well, what if I met the man or the woman of my dreams? What if I was able to use my career and find a way to get incentives from the company? What if I actually got a lot more hungry about my targets in life and look for ways to increase my speed? See, when people are overwhelmed, I'm going to tell you, they're slow. And they don't know it because they're misstepping or misinterpreting the fact that they worked all day. I want everybody to do this today. I want you to go to your screen. What is it? Like, what is it called? Like, you know where you can check on your cell phones about how much time you spend on your screens? Go do that today. Just write yourself a little note. Go do that today. And then what I want you to do is screen time. Thank you, Faith. I want you to go and I want you to look at how much time you spend on text, Instagram, Facebook, the internet, all of that. And I want you to write it down. And then I want you to take 168 hours in a week. And please do this today. Like, I care about your vitality. I just saw one of our past clients pass away of cancer. I saw the message this morning. Do you know, like, the fact that let me speak for myself. When I don't optimize my day, I don't need anybody to tell me that I'm too intense. You know what I need? You know what you need? Somebody say, go. You're on a wave right now. You're like surfing. And while you're surfing, you're feeling this energy. Go as fast as you can. Because speed connected to a target and accountability for entrepreneurs is your marketing plans. What's in the calendar between now and the end of the year? You know, what's in it? Some of you guys, how many of you guys watched the Shanda on Demand I did where I showed the 6 different, it's 5 and 6, depending if you want to add like Canada versus the US. Of course, there's Europe, there's all the places, right? But there's 5 to 6 big selling opportunities between now and the end of the year. I would be willing to bet that 95%, probably more, watched 2 of those trainings and never ever took 20 minutes out of their day to calendar out those campaigns and make those decisions. And so the reason why is they walk too slow, they make decisions too slow, and they talk too slow. And if they just made that one tweak, they would have more money coming in. They would have more impact coming in. Just that small little tweak. See, you'll burn through home study programs and buying them and never finish them because there's no speed. Because you're overthinking it, second guessing yourself, hesitation. And guess what? Everybody does that. I do that, you do that, everybody does that. But can you keep taking action? Unclear, unsatisfied. And let me share something with you. Stop blaming your coaches and your mentors for your lack of success. It sounds like this. There's not enough structure. I feel like they're too busy. I feel like I'm not ready for them. I just caught this in my client base, my high-end client base, where I just caught 2 of my clients, and I wouldn't have I would not have spotted the pattern if I didn't have 2 of them talk to me about the same thing in the same week. And that's where I spotted this pattern. And I want you to be aware of it. Here's what the pattern looks like. These are 2 of my high-end clients. I don't take many high-end clients. Most of them have been with me for a long time. I groomed them up, most of them, from startup or startup to $200,000-300,000. Then they became private clients. We moved them to $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month, right? In just a couple of years. And so most of them I've known from the conception of I walk slow, every decision feels like a bad decision because nothing works. And I talk fast, but I don't have the endurance because I move my targets all the time because I'm not ready, right? Like I went from that pattern to the pattern of where they're crushing it, making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month consistently. So 2 of these clients say to me, one of them said, I'm going to make up these 2 names. I'm not like Samantha and Tom. Samantha has all of these funnels already written, and I don't have any funnels. And Tom has a sales team, and I don't have a sales team. Right now, Tom was speaking about Samantha. Samantha was speaking about Tom. And it dawned on me, I'm sitting there going, for God's sakes, we blame our lack constantly for not being able to take action. You got to take your power back. See, even when I blame somebody on my team, or which sounds horrible, I know, but I'm human, right? Like, even though I put the responsibility on somebody else that maybe let you down or whatever, maybe they didn't let you down. Maybe you weren't a good leader. Who knows? All I know is growth is messy. And if you spend time like critiquing other people constantly, you're going to have a problem because you can't control other people. You got to pull your power back and go, how do I add speed? How do I set targets that are not realistic, that are so big they scare the shit out of me and get me to work? And then how do I create accountability, marketing campaigns, telling people online, telling everybody in your life? And every time you break your accountability factor, you kill your respect and your authority. Men, if you want your women to respect you, do what you say you're going to do. It's very simple. And it's not just with them. If you say you're going to work out, work out. If you say you're going to take a trip to Alaska, take a trip to Alaska. Stop moving your targets. Ladies, if you want your man to support you, you need to show up. You need to do the exact same thing. You need to stop complaining and bitching and being in a conversation of I'm overwhelmed all the time. It doesn't mean you don't get there. Right? It doesn't mean that somebody doesn't fall off their target, but if it's a regular occurrence, then you break trust. And so the only way that applies to your teams, it applies to your friendships, it applies to everything. So don't blame your mentors and your coaches. Don't blame your lack of sales teams or education or any of that for not having what it is that you want. Because where I'm going, and you guys can tell me if you're in the same spot, where I'm going, I've never been before. Where you're going, you've never been before. And if you have, you're probably playing too small. Where you're going, do you get that? Like your next jump where you're going, you've never been there before. So it's pretty normal. It's pretty normal to not know what you're doing. It's completely normal to not know what you're doing. But can you do it anyway? Can you be humble enough to not be the person sitting at the table that has it all together? Can you be humble enough to be the person in weakness? And I don't mean victim. I mean, can you ask for help in the step you're in so that you can get there faster? And my answer to that is yes. And if you have to keep having it all together, the Bible says in Corinthians that his grace and his power is within the moments of weakness. In other words, that's where God comes in. But it's also where mentors come in. It's where coaches come in. See, you might think it's in the planning. The planning is important. But the thing is that the planning is going to break. And I guarantee you the planning is going to break. The minute you start taking action and you move, the plan is going to break, which means the whole success game is in how fast can you make a decision to pivot. Now, that doesn't mean I throw out that telesummit. I'm not doing webinars anymore. Forget live events. I'm going to throw all these things out because when I did it, I failed. Doesn't mean that. It actually means the reason why you failed is probably you did it in isolation and you didn't ask anybody for help when you were failing. What you did instead is you slowed down your speed. Is this making sense to you guys? Yes or no? I know this because I did it for a long time. My first year in business, I made $2,000 all year. I was slow. I was very, very big on planning. I planned everything. I was like, I'm going to do a documentary. And I had risk and I hired this team and I did a documentary and I flew people to my house in Laguna Beach at the time. And I did the documentary. And let me tell you how many people saw the documentary. Probably 50. Right? Oh my gosh, I'm going to write this book. I wrote the book. Right? Like it's like this, I planned a lot for success out there. And I worried a lot along the way. And so I encourage you today that whatever it is that you're working on, move faster. Because if you can move faster, you're going to get new data points. And if you have a mentor and you have a coach, that's how to use them effectively, is to 100%. When you are, don't stop asking them for the planning. Just take some action. And like every day, take some action. So my 1% clients, which are my private clients, yesterday I said between now and the end of the year, because there's only 12 weeks left to the year, I said, we're going to do an end-of-day report. And I saw the end-of-day reports. My God, these people do a lot in a day. They do a lot in a day. They are incredible parents. They are incredible human beings. They are superheroes in my eyes, truly. They do a lot in a day. And I said, so let's leave out all the stuff you do in a day and let's just do an end-of-day revenue report. Because it can be very distracting to look at everything you do. This is a big moment if you can get this. It can be very, very distracting if you tell everybody all the busyness of the things that you handle. Because I know you handle a lot. For most of you, you just do. If you just hyper-focus on your end-of-day revenue, you'll get tired of seeing zeros at the end of the day. You'll get tired of seeing zeros at the end of the day. If you have zeros more than 2 or 3 days, or let's even give you some grace, a week, at the end of every day. So if you're in a mastermind, you could start this. It doesn't have to be my mastermind. You could say, hey guys, let's hold each other accountable for the next 12 weeks till the end of the year. You could be in Russell's, you could be in Dean's, you could be anywhere, right? You say, let's do this. In Hardcore or with Shanda, they're doing this inside her 1% club. Let's do this. Let's all rise up as entrepreneurs globally in every mastermind and do an end of day revenue report. Whether you hit 0 or you hit 2 million in a day or anything in between. And do an end of day revenue report. You know what's going to happen? It's just a post. EOD, end of day. And you will see that you'll get tired of reporting a 0. And if you don't pay attention to that, you'll be like, well, I did my celery juice, I wrote my content, I, took my kid to soccer, I, went to T-Mobile, got a new cell phone, I made dinner, I scrubbed the floor, and you start to go, shit, I did a lot in a day, but I still created 0 revenue. And if you create 0 revenue, it's not okay as an entrepreneur, or if you work for a company, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not okay to have 0 revenue every day, even if you're building. Even if you're building. So I'm going to end this Shanda on Demand right now. And I'm going to encourage you with so much love to keep it stupid simple. Just keep it simple. Keep it super, super simple. You guys on Instagram, I recommend you go look at my today's post on Instagram and claim that result for yourself. So next week, things look a lot different. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, whatever mastermind you're in, wherever you're at in the world, I'm going to encourage you, if you don't have a community, to get into one. But regardless, take an index card and every day, Monday through Friday, put EOD, end of day, and only track revenue. Do not track anything else but revenue. And I promise you, your speed will pick up because every week that goes by, next week, there's 11 weeks. The week after that, there's 10 weeks left to the year. Then there's 9 weeks left to the year. Then there's 1 month left to the year. And then really, you don't really have a month because you got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving. And by the way, you should have campaigns to sell on many of those days. So I'm going to encourage you today to start today. And it's okay if today's 0, but if you really want to go pro, I do whatever it takes to even sell something for $7. Like if you could set a daily standard that no matter what, you always make money every day and you track it till the end of the year, Monday through Friday, I think you'll be very happy with yourself without having to know it all. All right, my friends, so much love for you. I hope Shanda on Demand was great. Love to hear your reviews on Shanda on Demand. If you want to do an Instagram or a Facebook and tag me, do a couple reviews and let me know what you think about Shanda on Demand, whether you like it or you don't. I'm totally game to hear either or, but I'm doing everything I can to pour into you guys before the end of the year, and hopefully it's making a difference. All right, you guys, peace out. I will talk to you soon. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard